Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the Dreamhack Masters Summer Season Finals. A competition over a month of the best to determine who's going to be left as the best of the rest. Now, ignore that. Let me first introduce you to the wildest Protoss in the business. Is he going to show up today or does he have somewhere to be? Of course, the man who a lot of the time seems like he doesn't have a plan. The wild card, Zest. And then the man who has not once but twice 4-0'd this opponent in the GSL finals. Won twice of the 5 times he's won the Global StarCraft League, let alone anything else. Winning $1 million in just prizes in StarCraft 2. Playing for 11 years and counting. And of course, with 2 barracks on the other side of the map, it's Maru. Never change, Maru. He's 2-raxing a Protoss, which isn't even supposed to really be a thing. Zest does scout it. This is, I mean, like, Maru, you're not supposed to do this. I'm not exactly sure why. Well, partially because Protoss units are so good that they can kind of just shut it down. Like, the Zealot just shows up, the Marine's like, wait a second, this was not, I was promised. Well, the Zealot actually just walks by, so Zest is not going to try to delay the bunker. He didn't go for an expo, and Maru is now blocking it. The battery is targeting, make a decision here, he's going for the pylon. There is no second pylon powering this. But the pylon does have 100 more HP than the battery do. Batteries actually only have 200 HP, pylons have 400. Fun fact. It's the cannon that only has... Oh, okay. What is happening? Alright, so... Zest has a pylon in Maru's base. Maru was able to block the probe from coming back in after I assume he was pushed out by an SCV or something. But the Zealot, with the DPS of the probe, may just barely be able to stop the depot before Maru oh my god! He gets through right as the depot finishes, but Maru is coming back into his own base. Meanwhile, Zest is fighting with a shield battery. He will take down the bunker. It looks like both sides are gonna come clean up whatever's going on back at their base. Maru, almost perfect micro to take down the probe. And at the end of the day, everybody going back to their corners. And looks like we're just gonna have a nice normal macro game from here. I expected nothing less from these two wild players. And now that we have 5 seconds, I'm trying to get better. Like, subscribe. Do you want to just see Zest? And also watch his games? Me too. Alright. So, so far, Zest has he just walked by. Like, he did not care. The Zealot did not even try to stop the bunker. He went to the other side of the map. And that was the plan. Like, it takes a Zest level of balls to just ignore a bunker at your natural and expect it to be handled. In Maru, I think, didn't respect the commitment. Like, Zest just, like, I bet you 9 times out of 10 on the ladder. Like, if Maru tries this build on the ladder, under a barcode, of course, but, like, the Protoss is like, I need to stop this bunker. There's a bunker at my natural. Oh my god. What is happening? You're not supposed to bunker rush a Protoss and all that. Zest. I'm not even, like, he barely acknowledged the existence of the bunker and then eventually just dealt with it. A single shield battery, a couple stalkers, bunker's gone. So at the end of the day, Zest has a quicker expo. Zest has plenty of units. He killed 4 SCVs in that whole exchange. It's not super cheap to just build 2 racks across the map, let alone the SCVs he lost trying to get the bunker and defend his base. Maru's going to do a Widowmine drop to follow it up, but Zest already has a couple gateways online, a couple stalkers in position. That's not enough to deal with this, but he's warping more in. Hallucinated Phoenix will spot that this is really the only threat right now. Zest looking strong in game 1, slapping down Maru's aggression. Like, it wasn't without... Oh, he just gets it. There's no armory, right? No armory. Wow. Not gonna wait for Blink. He's just gonna sacrifice a probe for the greater good. And now Zest, with a 10-worker lead. Blink on the way. Third Nexus. He's come to play. Alright? Well, also he's come to win. At least it seems that way. Oh, I love this. A hallucinated Phoenix. Yeah, obviously a hallucination. The Warp Prism, though? Now this is something you have to receive. He's probably going to use it. Oh my god, the bait and switch! Zest is going to fake with the Prism to the right, try to draw things out of position, then use the hallucinated Phoenix to get in on the left side. Oh, you sly dog, Maru. Maru gonna spot the Prism. He doesn't know it's hallucinated. The Raven is moving, and Zest blinks in. Maru realized as soon as the Raven got over there, but now the Marine's out of position. The tank was sieged up at the bottom of the ramp. He thought he was in a good spot. Zest is not gonna do critical damage here, but it's free day. He's not losing any Stalkers. Oh, what a play. Now, it's not huge, but little things are adding up right now. Oh, and Maru knows he got played, too. That's also important. Maru, a bit of an emotional player. Not like, it's not like he gets super nervous, but you can tell on his face, that he's stressed, okay? He's into the game. Zest, on the other hand, if you didn't know for sure he was in the match and you didn't see his hands, you wouldn't be sure he's playing a game of Starcraft and not waiting for his appointment at the DMV. That is the amount of commitment he seems to have in these matches. Just a nice, fun, and effective tactic there. It's not game-winning, but anything to keep Maru busy. Maru, oh, he's gonna pull the boys, isn't he? The thing is, the progenitor of the Storm Prism, the man who has probably dropped more Templar out of Prisms in Legacy of the Void than anyone else. He was one of the first players to really use and abuse... Oh, this one's real, by the way. The Warp Prism for both Templar and for Archons. Well, he's got Storm done. Maru's on 2 bases. I'd be surprised if he didn't pull the boys. There is no third. Zest has 66 probes. Full 3-base saturation here. Maru, combat shields done. Infantry weapons level 1 done. Stim done. Now is the time. We'll see. Oh! Get the fuck out of here! Go home! A scan, Maru. Oh, that's a devastating... That's a devastating scan for Maru. He's like, come on, you had to be like 2-basing, right? No. No, fully saturated third. That is not what you want to see when you just got stormed. What is he gonna do? There's no good option. Oh, another storm. Oh, this is all but over already. The storm dealt with the mine. The Templar are gonna wander into the bunker, which is... Oh, he gets another great storm! Maybe he's asking you a little too forward or just forward enough. Oh yeah, Zest is attacking into Maru, despite Maru trying to pressure his third. He's got an Immortal, he's got Archons, he kills a few SCVs, pulls back, charge done. Zest has lost 1 Archon, a Sentry, a handful of Zealots. Maru's lost his Raven, dozens of Marine Marauder, bunch of almost 10 Widowmines, 11 SCVs. Like, it's not getting better. That's just manhandling Maru right now. I'm a little jealous. Now, the Warp Prism is important. Zest is going to want to keep that alive. But it isn't critical. At this point, losing the Prism isn't gonna change much. It's gonna hurt. It'll give Maru an angle, but overall... Oh, He has an observer in position. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to come up this route? Go ahead. Watch what happens. Oh, yeah. It's a little messy here because there's enough medevacs to keep units intact. The two Liberators, like, Zest doesn't have to be doing this right now. There's no obligation for him to be winning the game, but he's got an appointment, okay? He's got an appointment with the winner's bracket here. And he does not want to be late. Alright, Storm Drop, another 5 SCVs. Maru's struggling to get over 40. Zest has been chilling on 66 of them. He now has over 1,500 more income. Most of it in minerals, but plenty in gas. Double Colossi on the way. Plus one done. Maru has a slight upgrade advantage, but does he have the units to use it? Not really. Liberators in an awkward position. Blink Stalkers can abuse that. Forced to siege up Maru. That's just going to work his way down. The army supply is kind of close to even, is the only reason Maru has a shot in this. A desperate base trade, reinforcements cut off, medevacs out of energy, and units not even at full HP. Not a good sign, but this game has been all Zest all the way. Great Widowmine placement, waiting through the bushes. Maru doing whatever he can to try to drag this one back. It's gonna take more than that, especially with Colossi coming out. A recall? Oh my god, it finished. But actually, that's not enough units. Where are you gonna go? Where you going, Mr. Maru? He's going to game 2 as Zest cleans up Maru in game 1. 2 Rexes? Take that back to the Zerg. None of that. Get out of here. Zest slaps him down. And that's enough of that. I like how Zest, like, he is not content. He does not sit back. He's got a lead. He doesn't just get more ahead. He starts bashing you in the head. Even when, like, there is a risk, especially against Maru. If you get too aggressive, he could easily catch you out of position and turn the game. So, like, it's happened before to Zest against Maru, for sure. But that's just who Zest is, okay? He's going to attack. It doesn't matter how many more bases he has. Well, game 2. All right. Zest puts one on the board. Now, I doubt... Well, Maru is not proxy raxing. Not very surprising exchange here. That was his attempt to get a freebie. And that was kind of offensive to Zest. I don't actually know what the follow-up was gonna be, because Zest just walked by it and stopped everything, delaying the depot, killing SCVs. Like, it didn't really slow down Zest's expansion that much. It just there's a reason that you don't do 2 racks or early marine pushes against Terran. Now, if Zest hadn't probe scouted so early, maybe it looks a little different. But because a shield battery and a stalker already counter a bunker, it's more effective against Zerg because you don't have such hardy options. Units that aren't going to die to 4 Marines in a bunker. But Protoss, by their nature, just kind of has that option. And that's why if there is a proxy Rex, a lot of the time you'll see Reapers to try to outmaneuver. 3 Reapers can technically kill a Stalker, especially with some decent grenades. Okay. Probe, trying to do what it can. Like, you can... Terran buildings can fly. It is relevant. You could build your command center a little off to the side, but we've kind of gotten to the point, like, it's better to just pull another SCV for a few seconds than to be distracted by a probe. Zest, is he going Stargate? Somehow, I'm not... Is that really a calculated move, Zest? Zest, his scouting probe that was pushed off the expansion, I think that's just an opportunity. I could, if I really wanted to be like a professional caster, what I do is be like, oh my god, Zest build is so figured out. His scouting probe that was pushed off the expansion came back when he had exactly 150 gas for a Stargate. What I think is that's just a happy coincidence. But still, looks very good in the Stargate as soon as you can possibly get it while still having an adept. Alright, the scout gonna spot reactored factory. Hellions. How do we deal with that? He does not have a pylon on the low ground. He's got 2 pylons. He's blocked the employee entrance and the front door for the Reapers here. This map, a little curious. It has both of them. Scouting around the outside of his base anytime he has to react is important to him. That's what that's saying to me. Where is this? Wow, okay. Like, that, I mean, yeah, like, Zest is taking it to about as far as you can go. The Adepts are patrolling like a campaign mission because he needs to have just a perimeter defense against Hellions. Hellions are a real danger to the probes early on. Very quickly. It only takes 3 hits to kill a probe. And without shield batteries. Like, you don't have queens necessarily like Zerg does to defend. Zest just, like, knowledge is power, right? I feel like this is a little excessive on the pylons. But it's about the idea of the thing. Oh, Widowmine? Zest killed. If you look very closely, you'll see the Widowmine lurking. Zest managed to get 2 SCVs and will severely annoy this depot and drive down property value. What? Whoa, Maru, why are you back? He ran out of energy. Maru perfectly calculated, transferred back right as he ran out of energy. Lost only 1 more. Now this Widowmine drop is a little awkward. Only Phoenix is here. Zest should be able to shut this down. It just comes down to whether he lifts them in time. No, you gotta lift it. You gotta lift! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Disaster for Zest! No! Oh no! 14 probes! Oh, all it takes is 1 and everything. The house of cards comes crumbling down. Oh no, that is game breaking. And that is ignoring this. Oh. This was diffused, but it's too late already. 16 probes is way too much. He really was trying to do a minimalist defense. He was 1 hit off the first mine, and that threw everything else off. 16 probes is about 10 too many. Oh no. The Phoenixes will chase this. The Oracle is there for revelation if needed. He can lift the Widow Mines. He can catch them, but they've already murdered so many. Well, not these ones. The other Widow Mines murdered so many, but those ones also wanted to murder them. They weren't as good at it. Zest gets a few SCVs, but that is a massive blow. Zest's gonna try to get to Colossi. Wait, is he? Adds a Twilight of Forge and a Robo, which is a lot of different directions at once. And if you try to go every direction, you end up not getting anywhere fast. A lot of Phoenixes. Phoenix Colossus is an old composition, but it checks out. It isn't as... it's not used very much nowadays because a lot of Terrans have become so good at managing their units. It's kind of countered by a well-controlled army. Like, if you have the army and the unit composition to shut it down, before, a lot of players would be kind of just A-moving things like Bio and Vikings. And I say it like they didn't know what they were doing. No, it's just very hard to control. But it can be dismantled, especially on low economy. Especially if the Widow Mine drops don't stop happening. 3 more probes. Widow Mines. Oh, Widow Mines. Spider Mine's stupid, annoying cousin. The one with the rich parents and will never shut up. And his teachers couldn't really trash talk because his parents donated too much to the school. Widow Mines. Another mine comes in. 6 more probes go down. This mine looks like it's gonna burrow in time. He really wants it. No, come on! Come on!
Bullshit.
Well, Zest. I imagine even Zest in his stoic, steel-hearted demeanor has to give that one just a very quick. The thing is, like, it's tilting. It's kind of like last game with Zest doing the very clever bait and switch, Maru getting outplayed with that. Widowmine's kind of... Well, this is probably the best case scenario. Oh, no. Not only did he not get anything, he also lost half his phoenixes to a mine. There was a mine underneath. And by half, I mean 2 and a bunch of HP on the rest. It's not getting any better. Zest is going blank like he had 15 more probes. His army... it could deal with this, but losing 2 phoenixes and the rest being bruised... He's got +1, he's got blink, he's got force field. Like, he has options, and he has Colossi on the way. But Maru has a lot going for him right now, and most of it is the 10 Widow Mines. I mean, 10 Widow Mines have already eviscerated Zest's economy. Okay, very good force fields. There's no charge here to be about... One Widow Mine hits a badly bruised Adept, another Widow Mine on the Sentry, but in the bang! Ah! 11 more probes. This was all a distraction. Zest standing tall with the Colossi, but if one Widow Mine fires, then suddenly there goes the Oracle. Zest is holding, picks off a medevac, but he's bleeding. Maru with a nice amount of workers and counting. Zest isn't dead, but he's bruised, he's battered. He's getting knocked around and put in the ground. He's trying everything here. He's got charge on the way, extended thermal lance, dark shrine, +2. Maru is doing Maru things, which is just kind of doing drops everywhere. Throwing everything every which way. He didn't really have the opportunity last game. So, he didn't really have the opportunity to do much of this because Zest kept the pressure on. It's Maru's turn now. No shield batteries to overcharge. The Colossi could be vulnerable. Picking up Marauders. Immortals standing their ground. Maru doesn't have a secondary army. Zest is going to spot this. Recall is not available. He doesn't have the energy. He's got to scramble over there. A scan. Gonna spot if there's a 4th base he could take for free. No, there is not. For better or for worse. Phoenix is chasing. Right now, Stalker's buying time for the army to scramble back. Observers at a premium at the moment. Zest working very well with what he has. He's doing a really good job of it. Oh no, not a... The Widow Mine's cleaned up. Phoenixes were able to hunt down a couple medevacs. Maru, in typical Maru manner, building units that start with M, and that's it. I mean, the 5 M's of StarCraft. Marines, Marauders, Mines, medevacs, and of course, Maru. And also Vikings. My Vikings. And Magos coming in next, but only after Maru has worked every other angle. Meanwhile, blink DTs for Zest, who's kind of stuck on 3 bases, but if Maru's going to keep butting in with these more mobile units, then Zest is building something of a death ball. He doesn't have Storm, he doesn't have Archons, he doesn't even really have many Sentries. But he's building enough, and I like the Immortal choice here. Because he doesn't have that much gas to play around with. And if Maru's just going to go so heavy into the Marauders, Immortals, pretty cheap on the gas and very effective. Like, you can split Immortals a lot better than you can split Colossi. One Colossi, on its own against a drop, nothing. It's dead. It's gone. One Immortal is surprisingly tough to get rid of. It's in the name. So, Zest adding in a little bit of an unorthodox composition, but Zest is an unorthodox man. So, Dark Templar on the way. The Venn scan from Maru. Oh, did he notice the Templar? It's unclear. There are EMPs available, and of course plenty of scans from 3 orbitals. Maru is maxed, Zest far from it. But the fact that Zest is still going after losing 45 probes, he's still down 15 workers. The DTs, there's a turret in each mineral line as Maru, well, partially he was dealing with the, he was dealing with Phoenixes earlier, so. 1 Widow Mine, unfortunately, going to kill. The DT is going to buy time, though. Zest's going to try to take advantage of it. Snaps up a medevac. Maru's bio army forced to stim and retreat. Zest knows where he's vulnerable. Does he have enough units to split? Disruptors on the way. 4th base spotted here. Maru threatening both flanks. Zest trying to divide his army in order to deal with both sides. The Stalkers are going to try to chase down the outward flank. Maru going to snap up the 4th base for essentially free, as Zest can't really deal with it. Oh no, there's no observer. That Widowman's going to keep getting hits. Maru going to try to do a doom drop because Maru is still Maru, no matter how many times you tell him that, like, well, he's maxed out with money in the bank, and he does want more ghosts and probably liberators. Ah, hallucinating colossi. The thing is, they still get in the way. Makes it harder to target. The Vikings, if there is no scan, will have to manually target. I'm sure Maru's doing that. Beautiful flank, but counter-ruptors coming in from the north side. DT's in the mix. Warp Prism still intact. Immortals holding their ground. Maru's starting to grind through. Immortals doing their best. More Warpins, not enough. But during this, 16 SCVs went down, and so did Zest. It looked like he might have something to fall back to. No, Maru with a nearly 360-degree flank takes the game back. Zest walking in to the full surround, and Maru more than happy to give him a group hug. And, well, that brings us with a hot skip. Okay. Hop, skip, and a jump to Jimmy! What is this? Where are my things? Well, alright, we'll be back to this. But to game number 3. Maru going the distance here. Zest putting up a very strong fight, but oh, the Widow Mine. The first Widow Mine. The first Widow Mine connected. And with it, Zest's chances drastic go down.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
One to one. I'll take this time with no workers. Maru, stop it. No, it's a Macarex. Okay. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe. So, I try to put out videos every day. There's always... The thing is, it's insane how much StarCraft there is. If I chose to bring you 2 top 25... We'll say 24 players. Top 24. That's not that many players. If I decided to cast every match between top 24 players, I'd have to put out, on average, like 7 videos a day. There's so much StarCraft all the time. I try to bring you the best games for the fans, not just the best, but the best of the rest. And sometimes the worst. So, like, subscribe, ring the bell. And if you haven't in the past, you're like, those annoying notifications, I don't like them. Neither do I. But if you're indifferent, okay, and I know many of you are, remember, apathy is always a tragedy. Boredom, a crime. Okay, so be entertained. And every day, somewhere between, depending on how Zest feels, 20 minutes and 2 hours of StarCraft. Or something I think you'll like. Zest has resigned this probe to its death. I think he realized this was a Macarex. The Reaper coming back will confirm it. A Macarex is when you build your barracks. Like, people like Maru, specifically Maru, really. and Marine King and MVP back in Wings of Liberty would proxy rack so much because you didn't even require a supply depot to proxy racks in the beginning Wings of Liberty. That people would scout the base so early, see no racks. Oh my god, he's proxy. Alright. Oh my god. But Maka Prime, on Maru's team at the time, by the way, as Maru, you might remember Maru Prime, was the genius man who's like, what if I just built a barracks at my natural? Because they always scout the main and then freak out. So if I build it at the natural, I can still do my normal build without almost any delay, and they'll freak out. Nowadays, of course, that is well known to be a strategy, but just having that on the table, and occasionally players will forget that's a thing, especially if it's few and far between enough. Especially if you're a player like Maru. Like, that barracks could be anywhere. You have no idea. Like, it could be in the back of his main, it could be in the back of your main, or anywhere in between. So, just the mind game of there being no barracks is sometimes the most valuable part. Is he gonna scout that? Oh, by the way, this is a robo first. Oh, Zest put it exactly far enough that, like, Maru jumped up. Oh, come on. I mean, that has to be calculated, of course, but, like... It's so perfect. So right now, Maru doesn't know anything. The Widowmine drop will fill him in on some of it. But is this a Ruptor drop? He's not starting a Prism. Well, we're gonna find out. Oh no, the Widowmines again. Oh no! Okay, he got it. He's got an Observer. So far, so good. The Robo Bay will be scouted here. Unfortunately for Zest, Widowmine diffused. Medevac escapes with a scout, though. Alright, so it looks like it's Colossi, and Maru is opening up with a Raven. And that is the best case scenario for Terran. Like, Raven is the Swiss Army knife of the Terran. You kind of got whatever you need early on. Anti-armor missiles good against charge lot openers. Auto turret for potential pressure and buffer. Interference matrix very strong against Colossi, and isn't bad when you're dealing with something involving a Prism or Immortals. Can technically interference matrix Archons, but that's a little more rare. Or Sentries in very specific scenarios, but we very rarely see that. Speaking of, Zest Warpian 1, Guardian Shield, invaluable. Guardian Shield is probably the best defensive ability in the game. Reducing 2 range damage to everything in the shield, including if the enemy units are in the shield. One sentry can block literally thousands of damage per Guardian Shield, which is why you'll still see players warping in a sentry or 2 in the later game. It's essentially having +2 armor and shields against Terran especially. Because every unit except the best one is a ranged attacker. So now the Raven looking around, but Zest knows that the map is dark and full of Terrans. Doing his best to grab vision across the board. He's got observers. I love the spotter pylons. Like, it's kind of just, except your pylons are supposed to be in your main, in your natural, not just in random places on the map. It's like, well, I don't care. I mean, why not? You don't want... Observers are going to get sniped. Like, observers that are right over the army are going to get sniped. That's why Zest is building an observer, like, off to the side here. So Maru doesn't immediately scan or just use the Raven to kill it. Pylons, while they may be killed, have more HP than observers. I will say that. That's a fact right there. And they don't cost any supply. In fact, believe it or not, the opposite. Though that can come back to that. That can backfire. So Maru coming in. He's really trying to work this Raven, but just the fact Maru built a second Raven. And he also built a third command center. But just the fact that this Raven is on the other side of the map and not going home to group up with a push has already told Zest enough that it's going to be 3 bases. We're on Romantis' side. this map, except for maybe through the mineral wall. That is where you can do some shenanigans with tanks. Otherwise, in a relatively even economy game, and despite Maru being down a few SCVs, mules are quite a thing, so the incomes are almost dead even right now in minerals. Attacking up onto this platform is not very realistic. Usually, in even games, we'll see maybe some skirmishes, maybe someone will try timing, but it's the 4th base that becomes the focal point. At the 8, 9, 10-minute marks, yeah, write that down, Platinum Leaguers. The 9-minute mark, when both these players are getting close to maxing out. Okay, maybe like 10 minutes. When they're getting close to maxing out, that's when controlling the map and going for the 4th, as well as adding on that next level of tech for both sides, is critical, especially Protoss. We got Storm, Blink, +2/+1, Templar, 4th Nexus, Maru 4th Command Center in production, Ghost Academy, Armory, concussive shells. One of these is not like the others, but Goody didn't forget concussive shells till the 28-minute mark. It happens, okay? It's happened to everyone. Maru's forgotten combat shields before, all right? But this is what we like to call in the business a bit of a macro game. Zest has lost 2 probes, Maru's lost a few mines, a few scouting units. And the exchanges should begin soon. Well, I did not expect to see this. Look at Zest's map vision. Zest is map hacking right now. He has about 80, not 80%, at least 50% of the map covered, but even outside Maru's base. And the army just chilling. The 4th Nexus is done. Zest has been scouting around all these angles. He currently has only 3 observers. It seems like they cover so much. The drop was scouted. The Zealot even got away. Enhanced shockwaves for those ridiculously thick EMP radiuses. The Zealot's hunting down a small group of Marine Marauder that's trying to clear out the 4th, as they both jockey for position with +2 upgrades across the board. Zest. The one thing we're missing from Zest, and I don't think we'll see it until at least a few minutes from now when he's comfortably maxed, is a Stargate. But knowing Zest, it might just be a bunch of Blink DTs spending all his... Alright. Alright, Gravitic Drive, Prism Speed, Blink DTs, +3 attack. Zest is looking to hammer on this 4th, but Maru's battening down the hatches. He's got tanks, planetary on the way, walling off with a command center and a turret, making it incredibly difficult. Storm is done, and Storm does land. Maru gonna bring the army into reserve. A handful of Zealots are ready to try to break through the wall. This is not a location looking incredibly breakable right now, especially considering that enhanced shockwaves are complete. That means the EMPs can hit almost everything. The Zealots break through the wall, losing just a few of their number. Kill a tank, draw some reinforcements back, scan to spot the army. Maru covering all his angles here. He's just playing defense. Zest, expeditionary force. I wouldn't be surprised to see him taking down the rocks up to the high ground platform on either side. Zest with a 5th base now. And this is when, this is the late game. Not the end game. The end game is when we're sitting back and trying to poke and prod in no man's land. This is the late game. They both have a stupid amount of income. As right now, nearly 3k minerals and over 1,000 gas a minute, give or take a bit. That you can build these armies again, and Bob, we're going to need to work on these outlines here. They can both build their standing armies in about 1.5 minutes, assuming they have the production, of course. With their... Is that a fusion core? But it's for advanced ballistics, unfortunately. Or Maru medevac speed, rapid reignition thrusters. If anyone can use that medevac speed / boost cooldown, it's Maru. But I'd imagine advanced ballistics, and then for me, please Maru, queue up. I bet he will. I bet this game will get to that point. It doesn't look like we're going to kill each other yet. A scan. He's looking for star gates. He sees a lot of gates, but none of them the star of the show. Zest is He's got a fierce... Zest supply is quite low, but of course, when you have 14 gateways, you can warp in a not insignificant... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct you. 24 gateways! What? All right, so Zest ready to reenact the Legacy of the Void cinematic. 24 gateways and 3 robotics facilities. 48 supply of zealots at a time. Move over, Zergs. Oh my god. Hashtag gate. The scans across the board. How many orbitals for Maru? He's at 6 orbitals. All right. Oh, Artosis! But wait.
You have to be kidding me that anyone can be this bad.
Oh my, he's trying to DPS through, but Zest does not save the pylon. The Artosis, well, it's not really an Artosis. It's not that many. It's not even a quarter of his gateways. Zest has 24 gateways. Oh my god. Maru's like, where are the Stargates? Where are the Stargates? Where are the... There are no Stargates. No turtling. That's not how Zests do. Triple dis... Oh, well, also, well, here are the Stargates, but only after the 24 gateways, though. Don't worry. Okay, well, he do, but only... as a matter of obligation. Fleet beacon on the way. Maru, where's my medevac speed upgrade? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not have the resources, Maru? Is that... Okay, now Zest is map hacking. He has vision of everything but exactly Maru's bases. If Maru moves out in any direction, including with drops, it should be spotted before it's more than halfway across the map. Double prism. A scan. Maru finally sees the Stargates. But, like, what are you going to do about it, Maru? Is now the time to move out? He wants to move out before the, I want to say, Tempest transition. I have yet to see... Are you insane? Oh, my God. He's going to speed past... What, 1 turret? Move over, Maru. How are your drops doing today? You know what's better than medevacs? Zest is intentionally right now at 173 supply, as a doom drop of prisms is heading towards the main. You can't stop them all. Oh, and he can warp in. The Vikings can't stop him while he's warping in. The Stalkers across the board. 1 prism down. Oh, interference matrix. Maru stops it. I thought it couldn't be done. No. And then at the same time, he moved into the Venn diagram of freedom. And Maru stuffs him at the back and slaps him at the front. And in other contexts, that might sound like fun, but Zest right now, knocked down to 150 supply, and with his tail between his legs, is forced into carriers and Stargate. A bold, brash, and possibly reckless play out of Zest. It didn't cost him that much, because when things are canceled warping in, they don't die. Okay, they haven't been killed. They're just stuck in like a cyber purgatory or something, which is essentially 4chan, but for stalkers. So like 4chan then. Maru just unleashed a Bronze League Heroes level of scans. That's like 7 scans at once across the board. He finished medevac speed, by the way. Nuclear launch detected. What madness! Oh my god. Another, like, just assume there are scans at all times. I'm gonna stop commentating it. I'm not, but more scan. The nuke, it lands. Doesn't, the ghost is dead, but the rest of the upgrades being filled in. Actually, air weapons not, well, never mind. 25 probes die, which is a pretty significant number, but good thing Zest has 6 next time. More scans. Maru has not 1, not 2, not 5, not 7, 9 orbitals. 24 gateways for Zest, well, warp gates for Zest, building 3 carriers at a time, high-sec auto-tracking, building armor, more command centers, more turrets, more nukes. Actually, we only have 1 nuke. Let's see 6 more Ghost Academies, Maru. Nukes, they cost 100 apiece, And these top-level players are very good at dealing with them. You need to have something else going on. Even with this much on the map, Zest is not going to lose dozens of probes to a nuke. He's not going to lose his army. Fingers crossed. It's a fake! It's a fake drop. He's trying to bait the recall. And while he does the fake drop here, a nuke is coming in. But Zest, not to be fooled. It did drag the army out of position, but that was just baiting for the nuke. Maru actually has too many SCVs. Maru, don't you dare send him across the map. Just kill him with your planetary. Maru has 80 SCVs, which means his potential army supply is relatively low compared to Zest. Madness. And that extra 15 army supply, that's a mothership, potentially. That's a couple more carriers. That's more Templar. Zest! Oh my god, Zest just shot his own stalkers with a Ruptor. I choose to believe that's what happened there. Is one of those on cooldown? I don't think so, but I choose to believe that's how he freed up supply. Meanwhile, here come the... Like, what are you doing? You want them to die, don't you? What are you doing? He's like, actually live and build me a command center. No, Maru, they were here to die. Why are you running away? It was a reflex, okay? It's hard for him. He's like, oh my god, they have cannons there. Yes. He's just gonna build turrets with them. That's what that... When old SCVs are no longer used for mining minerals, they go build turrets until they go to a farm upstate. Mothership, carriers, +3, pretty much across the board now, if not being filled in. How many orbitals are we sitting on? He's got 11 orbitals. He has multiple scans at every cooldown. Turrets, the TPM, reaching critical levels. Disruptors are going to exchange. Now this is the end game. The lines are being drawn in turrets and other static defense. And we will see if anyone can cross it. Nuclear launch detected in no man's land. Turrets being scouting turret shut down. Zest has money in the bank. Maru has a little more gas. Sitting on 4,600 to 3,500. So far in the units lost. We're gonna need to fix that. A lot of gas. We're still working with some overlay improvements. Bear with us here. EMPs across the board. This one's not Jimmy's job. He's never been good with numbers. Or anything, but especially numbers. Well, this is awkward. Where are you going? Total recall. Actually, I think it's called mass recall, but I call it total recall because, of course, that sounds way cooler. The mothership recall ability can definitely bring a lot of units, like carriers, behind enemy lines, but is quite a gamble. The Nexus recall use, the mothership gonna try to slip behind. Zest sends the probes into battle. I don't think they're gonna win this one, but that wasn't the intent. Zest down to 50 probes. More. Could you stop? Maru is just... He's dragging his rapid fire scans across the map. He has literally dozens. He has a dozen orbitals. He's got 60 turrets. The highest TPM award of this year, I think, is not going to be claimed by the Bronze League heroes, but by the least Bronze League player in StarCraft, especially as Terran. Recall on the turrets? Are you insane? I know, it's Zest, but he just dunked the units. I think the mothership was dying. The mothership is no longer here, but the units are. A Dorito dusting, anti-armor missile across the board. Zest with a bold play. A lot of units are going to be lost here. Zest hurting. He's warping in 21 stalkers to reinforce. But that is a lot of Vikings. There's some Templar in the Prism. He could have used those in the beginning of the fight. He might use them near the end. But this feels like a little bit of an overextension out of Zest. Because, well, he wants to win. He doesn't want to win the war of attrition. He wants to win the game. I know it sounds dumb, but, like, what I mean is he wants to actually kill Maru and force him to tap out, instead of choking him out over the next 20 minutes. And that's a very Zest thing to do. But it is hard to be cost-effective against an entrenched Terran. He cleared out the top right position. There's still the corners at play right now. There's still options. More scans coming in. I think he wants to see if there's going to be more. Like, Maru, I was talking about Zest map hacks. Maru has enough scans to scan the entire map, like, once a minute. The entire map. Of course, like, you have to be a little efficient about it. No, don't. Like, you can't break that. Also, the top platform bases have yet to be taken. This is about as entrenched as it gets. Siege tanks, ranged liberators, turrets, and multiple planetaries. This is a campaign to... Maru just dragging it across the map again, keeping track of things. Zest has to assume... Madness. What a game. Zest just going! How many liberators? 16 liberators. Almost no bio units left underneath. 10 ghosts, 4 marauders, and 2 marines. 2 stalkers are fighting a planetary that looks like it might finish. Maru, drop the mules! No! Oh, the save! The 2 stalkers. Oh my god! That is a lot of liberators. Snipes? Wait, no, that was anti-armor missile. There's a lot of things coming out. Venn diagram of liberation again. A no-go zone for those stalkers. So many liberators! A nuke is landing on a huge chunk, well, not a huge chunk, a sizable chunk of static defense. Not anymore! Nuked out of existence. Zest is running out of mineral patches to mine from. He's been playing a high-powered game, but he's lost 10,000 more resources so far. Only to be stopped by a mineral wall. You would think there'd be some probes here. That is, the mineral walls are holding. Not on both sides. Zest is not really... Maru now has a 3,000 income lead, and seeing... He's building 4 nukes at a time. We finally got there. What is this? Oh my god, he recalls into the top right. Slams into it again. This base will not make it through that. The mothership. This is Zest. He's running out of options here. He still has a lot in the bank. But he's running out of mining in general. This bank he has is all he's going to have for quite a while. EMPs across the entire army. The liberators are far too much. The immortals knocked out. The Denmark of Vikings chasing down the carriers. Liberators covering them from the ground. Well, from the air to the ground. Zest in full retreat. An expensive army plummets in supply to 112. He's gonna warp in. I don't know what he's going to warp in. And wow. Okay. That's the play. That's it. He just spent his money. At least the majority of it. His army, past this point, he's building 6 carriers and 3 disruptors. Zest is going to put the most expensive army he can possibly put together. And that will be his last one. At least for a while. Maru's army is already hugely expensive. It's 8K... 5,700. That's like everything he owns costs gas. He literally has no marines. Marines have been made. Oh my god! Welcome to Costco. I love you. Oh my god! A dozen orbitals and no need for mules. Like. 6 Void Rays coming in now, too. Oh, there's not... I mean, there's planetaries. Liberators everywhere. Oh my god, 16 Liberators, 23 Vikings. There are a dozen carriers. The thing is, usually you'd use Storm or Archons to help against the Vikings. But Ghosts, like... The Ghosts are making those essentially obsolete. Let alone the Liberators zoning them. So he needs air. That's what he's decided. Zest is spending the last of his dwindling gas. He now has only 600 in the bank. He's building a lot of Void Rays. He's trying to hide in a corner. So Maru, like, he's hoping Maru does not scan this specific corner. His army is off the map. And the weird thing is, Maru doesn't really have much on the ground besides nukes. Like, he can't really kill cannons, except with nukes. Ghosts don't fight cannons. There's a handful of tanks and marauders. But Vikings and Stalkers? I mean, Vikings and Liberators, rather. Those are not anti-ground unit. I mean, they are anti-ground, but not anti-cannon, not anti-battery. Oh my god. The Golden Armada. A dozen carriers. A dozen Void Rays. A dozen Stalkers. He has +3, +2, +3. Scans across the board. I mean, the Ghosts are gonna fight. There's only one cannon. Is there a recall? He just used recall. Are we base trading? Quadruple nuke! Yeah, well, that's one way to kill a base. And this is also a way to kill a base. The Armada has arrived. Nukes being rebuilt. Zest and Maru maxed out, with about the most expensive armies you can ever build. Does he have... He has a few Templar in the Prism. The Storms could change everything. The amount of damage the Storms could do those Vikings is historical. Those Storms could change everything. The Ghosts with EMP are obviously going to be laying that down. Zest is... not really mining. There's not that much left to mine except the corner. Well, Maru's mining the center base. He actually just started here. +3 armor. Wow, that is a lot. Zest only has 31 probes. Maru's gonna struggle to take a straight up fight. But he's buffered with so much defense. That is, oh, well, there go the observers. No, the Storm Prism. He's gonna force the issue. I don't think Maru's gonna hurt for those orbitals. But where's the Storm Prism? The Storm Prism is almost everything. The Disruptor's trying to help the Vikings easily knocking out the carriers. Base is down. Maru just moves another one over to take its seat. He has another 13 orbital, well, another 12 orbitals on the map. He could potentially move into this position. So killing command centers is not a top priority except to deny mining. I don't think that's a super pylon there, but Maru has pushed... He's got 58 turrets still, despite losing 53. So over 100 turrets from Maru so far this game. 4 TPM. For the first time in a while, a couple Zealots are going to find damage, though there is a tank from the low ground. Quadruple nuke. Wait, no, just one nuke, not quadruple nuke. Zest is going to deny mining as well. And remember, carriers are a rich man's unit. Those interceptors aren't free. No. The War Prisms are everything. If Zest starts running completely out of money, he can't replace the interceptors. The fleet from both sides. Some Void Rays easily sniped. Void Rays very antsy to get in on the action, but they do not have the range of the carriers. Zest trying to retake his bases. We're kind of heading towards a scenario where Maru is going to mine out. Well, he's still got a lot of gas on the table. He's mining 0 gas, but Zest doesn't have any. Maru has 5k gas in the bank. Zest is broke. He can't even spend interceptors freely. Zest needs to mine. He has to pick a fight. It's likely any any fight into turrets and entrenched defenses, he will lose. But he has to fight. It has to happen. EMPs hitting some of the stalkers, disruptors, firing across the bow. Nexus canceled before Maru can finish it off. The only Marauders and Medevacs over here. Zest had done 25 probes. His army 172 to 160. 3 across the board. Maximum upgrades reached for all players. Oh, the nukes are actually in the silos still. Several of these silos have nukes. Zest deep in the paint right now. The final battle approaches. It's going to be very difficult to recall out of this one. Zealots will force a lack of mining out of Maru here. He's actually attacking from the back. There's almost no minerals and no gas left. He's got to be careful with his interceptors. The Vikings looking for an opportunity. Maru trying to come in. Stalkers are not going to be fighting a winning battle here. Another fadeaway disruptor shot trying to catch Ghost. Not going to find it. There's only one observer with this. Looking, trying to snipe what he can. Cloak Ghosts have an opportunity. Zealots, there's no defenses for these turrets, and now they'll just go to town. The weakness of Maru's army is the lack of... Oh my god! 44 Vikings! Maru! Madness! Hand in hand. Zest is losing interceptors that he can't replace. He's down to 72. I'm not sure. 10 carriers. Should be 80 interceptors is the max. He's moving in towards the production. Like, where do you fight? Zest is kind of annexing the bottom left base. He should be starting a Nexus. He doesn't have the money to start a Nexus. Nuclear launch detected. There was still one in the main. Zealots. The times of plenty have ended in the times of scarcity. No, 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 Zest! You need those minerals! You need those probes! For the first time in a long while! They're both down to where they started! 12 workers apiece! After 34 minutes! And almost 100,000 resources lost! 12 workers apiece. Zest is working into the main. I mean, you work with what you got. He's going. He's going. EMPs across the board. Prismatic alignment used. Storms in reserve. Storms in reserve. EMP across the board. Ghost targeted. Only a few more. Shields beginning to regenerate. Vikings kiting back. Most of the production. Where are the starports? There are no starports on the map. There's no more production. All the production's in the main. The fleet cannot be reinforced for either side. Zest is broken. Maru's production is isolated. The orbitals are in flight. Maru can remake starports. More coming out. Where are the storms? Where are the Templar? Where are the Templar? I don't see the Templar. A nuke is flying out of the silo. He's scorched earth. He nukes his own main in desperation. Maru. He doesn't cancel. He finishes off his own barracks. The Templar are on the ground. There's 4 ghosts still. The Templar are on deck. Maru is taking out Zest's money. He scans the other side. This is all Zest has. But the production gutted. The armory's gone. The supply depots themselves. The main will be cleared. The game will continue, though. The engineering bay is vulnerable. Maru has to restart his production. It looks like he's going back to Marines. He's continually scanning. He can only drop so many mules. He doesn't need mules. He needs SCVs. What a thing. That's gonna recall? Yeah, he recalls away. Maru doesn't actually scan this army. He's gonna assume, I think, a recall. How many orbitals survived the Exodus? 5 orbitals. Maru's production reset. Zest's income non-existent. But Maru doesn't have that much either. Alright? The current standing armies. 10 carriers, 4 stalkers, 2 prisms, 2 raptors, 11 void rays, and 3 Templar for Zest. 45 Vikings. 7 liberators, a marauder, and 4 ghosts. As well as not nearly enough workers for either side. Oh, I haven't seen a Viking flower of this magnitude since Wings of Liberty. That is so many. A storm. Pick up the snipe! Zest cannot make any more Templar. He does not have the gas. And in fact, he barely has the minerals. He's long distance mining his rich Vespine gas with like 1/12 of his economy. He has 44 gas income, which is 44 more than Maru right now. Four ghosts on the way. Probably the most efficient way he could spend this. Oh my god. There's no detection. I don't think he has a nuke. That's not important. How do you kill the ghost? Special operative comes in. After all this time, one singular cloak ghost. Zest needs whatever income he can drag out of the map. He hasn't been very diligent about securing these bases. Maru still has, like, this gas. He still has 4,500 gas over here. Zest losing anything. It cannot be replaced. Maru has to rebuild depots. Does Maru have smart servos? He doesn't. He doesn't have the ability to quick transform. Oh no, the carriers! 2! 3! And the void rays! Not like this. You can't land void rays and carriers. The storms were all that were stopping Maru. Oh no. This may not end with a bang, but with a whimper. As Maru just took what was nearly a critical mass of carriers and void rays and whittled it down to a definitely manageable size. And suddenly... the Liberators move forward. The Marines re-added into the composition. Most of Zest's economy at this base. Zest is killing his own Nexus to start the Interceptors, bringing them onto the field so they join the battle, but it doesn't last long enough. The Storms need to win. The Storms are everything. Maru tried to target. Huge storm on the Vikings. Another one. Full energy. It's not enough. The Vikings win the day. The Ghosts clear the field. Maru takes it. 2-1. Oh, after everything. Zest, 24 gateways, but Maru retreating to the upper right quadrant, sitting on dozens of turrets, losing hundreds, holds. What a game. One of the most exciting Protoss versus Terrans. I mean, a nice, calm, collected start. But Maru holds the line, and Zest, I think, a little impatient, a little too committed to ending the game instead of surviving. But what do you think? Leave a comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Thank you to Dreamhack and ESL for putting these on and putting the replays out there. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you look forward to more good games for the fans. Check out these amazing videos. Maybe not as good as this one. Who knows? Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.